In this tutorial, we will learn about all of the preferences you could change in Paneldes which are not directly related to routing. You can change Paneldes preferences in EDS Setup and from the Paneldes ribbon menu. The same pages are displayed in all cases. We will use the ribbon menu. In Paneldes Preferences, there are multiple tab pages. The pages marked Cable Routing have been discussed in the Routing Preferences tutorials, so we will skip over these. The first tab is the General tab. Choose the units that represent one drawing unit on your 3D blocks. All 3D blocks and labels placed on any model should be created with an identical scale. Block Orientation selects where the 3D blocks and tag attributes will face the front of panels or face the plan view of the drawing. Default 3D labels should be on to force Paneldes to use the default 3D block labels whenever a specific 3D block is not found in the catalogue. Group your 3D blocks, label block or realistic 3D block. Paneldes will make a CAD group when the component and block are inserted, simplifying selecting these items. Group all plates on panel components. Paneldes will make a CAD group when the panels and plates are inserted, simplifying selecting these items. Symbol redefinition forces the 3D blocks to be redefined during insertion. This saves having to delete and purge old blocks that have changed. This significantly affects performance and should only be used if blocks have changed. Synchronize attributes redefines attributes on new blocks. Layer hiding can optionally hide layers when viewing wire routes, cable routes, and interference. Navisworks linkage generates a report during routing, Navisworks link.xlsx. This file is used to link Paneldes data to Navisworks. Imperial length format will cause reported conductor lengths to be in feet and inches or inches only. You can alter the buttons used for popping up the Paneldes pop-up menu. Align line length. This is the length of the small perpendicular line at the end of raceway length segments that allows a coordinate system to be placed on the route. Polyline tracing tolerance. If tracing a 3D polyline, under this angle, a corner will be constructed with two linear segments of raceway instead of a prefabricated corner. Allow corners to be trimmed during a trace if the angle is smaller than the corner. This simulates hacksawing a standard supplier's corner tray. Allow lengths to be cut and bent during a trace if no corner can fit or be modified to fit. This simulates cutting then bending a standard supplier's straight tray. Matching profile tolerance. When polyline tracing, two trays will be deemed connectable if their profile dimensions are within this distance. Component selection. These controls allow the Paneldes user to set the crosshair size and color number when using the Paneldes query and selection tool. Label text size can be set for route viewing and for cross-section drawings. Conductor route viewing modes are discussed in the Route Preferences tutorial. We will now move to the second tab page. Clearance sizes. The first box on this page allows you to set a tolerance for interference for the different types of Paneldes component. The tolerance starts at 0 for the boundary of the component and adds volume to the component as you increase the value. The values should have units. You can exclude items fully enclosed within other items. The assumption is that if fully inside, it is supposed to be enclosed rather than accidentally interfering. You can individually control the types of component included in the interference checks. Segments in route corner construction is no longer used. Paneldes uses curved surfaces rather than segmented surfaces. The third page of preferences contains the majority of routing options. We will skip over this as it is covered in another tutorial. The final page is for those doing panel exploded views. When exploding a panel and adding dimensions, the dimension line height is set here. This size is used to space out auto dimensions. This size is used to set the extension lines on an auto dimension. This size is used to start the extension lines on an auto dimension. This size is used to scale auto dimensions. This size is used to set the text height on an auto dimension. This character is used to delimit decimals on an auto dimension. This number is used to set the number of decimal places on an auto dimension. These units are used for units on an auto dimension. Orientation of text on an auto dimension can be altered. When exploding the panel, the space between plates is set here. When exploding a panel and adding dimensions, a tolerance is required to bind a component to a plate. If closer than this distance, the device will attach to the plate. Titles for each plate can have their text height set here. Further detail on these settings can be found in the EDS help. There are other tutorials that contain the information on routing preferences and NEC settings and details.